Notes. A lot of people say, well, gee, you can't carry a note on an exchange. Totally untrue. 5 ways to do it. Okay, so the note, remember we talk about consideration on a transaction. The property sells, the cash comes in, which is not like kind. The note's not like kind. You get a boat, that's not like kind. Whatever the consideration is, it's not like kind unless it's a house, right? Unless it's something that is like kind. So when we're looking at these things, the note typically represents equity in a transaction. Does it always? Have you heard of a wrap? A wrap contract has an underlying first with a second there that wraps the first. That's a wrap. Can we do an exchange with a wrap? Yes, we can. All right? Gets complicated. So, if we're looking at just a first, and we want to sell and carry the buyer, a lot of times you've got a tenant that wants to buy the property. I will warn you, and some of you, if you're in the mortgage world, know more about it than I do, but the deal is, if you're selling to somebody and it's their home, you've got a higher standard there. You've got to be a licensed loan originator to draw that note. So be careful with that. If it's just an investment property for someone, go get the Stevens Nest form. Use that. Let escrow draw it, whomever. But if it's owner occupied, you can just make sure you're talking to your tax or your legal people actually. You cover your tail. Make sure you don't do something that can get you in trouble. So owner occupied, it's different than not owner occupied.
Owner occupied, the tenant is the owner?
So if you've got a rental house, your tenant wants to buy the property, you're going to carry them.
Right.
You better have your lawyer, somebody that's a licensed loan originator, draw that note. Okay? If it's an investor, then it's different. Pardon?
The owner shouldn't, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So how do you know if it's an so might be the first investment for that
Yeah, well,
buyer.
I mean, yes, you just need to know. I mean, if it's your tenant, you know they're going to live there, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's a typical scenario. Okay. So the note comes into us. We have to do something with the note. We can use the note to acquire something else. So we can use the note in cash to buy the replacement property. It doesn't happen very often, but it could happen. So one, we could sell the note to a third party. Discounts on them are steep. I don't know why. I mean, if you put money in the bank today, you get nothing. Seems like notes would be worth something to sell them, but it's still not. We can use the note in cash to buy something. It rarely happens. Purchase a note. And what do I mean by that? Our client buys a note. And you're saying, well, gee, it's my note. Why would I buy the note from you? And what you're really doing is substituting cash for the value of the note. So by doing that, if you've got $500,000 sitting in the bank, what are you making interest-wise? Nothing, right? So if the note's paying 5 or 6%, where else, back to your comment, Mike, where are you going to get 5 or 6% today comfortably? This is an asset you know, and it can give you a nice cash flow, all right? So what are you going to do with the money if you don't do it? Just be aware, carrying the thing, like I said, debt relief and depreciation recapture in the year of sale. Just make sure you know that if you're going to carry paper. But we have a lot of times our client's going to buy the note from us. Short-term note. Why is the note there? Maybe the thing's not completed. Maybe it's got lender-required repairs. They can't finance it, so they want you to carry them short-term. 30 days, 60 days later, permanent financing comes in place. Or maybe they're up against their 180th day on an exchange, or maybe you're in a situation where it's a reverse and you're up to it. So that note comes in. Think of a reverse exchange with a note. Okay, so a reverse exchange, we don't really go into the details, but a reverse exchange, you have to have the financial ability to buy a property today to replace something yet to be sold. Whatever you come in with money-wise to buy that property, we have in effect borrowed that money from you. So you show up at escrow with $100,000 and to go buy that property. Now you sell and you carry. So all these things are aimed at, like in a delayed exchange, this note coming in and having to do something with it. But if we're in a reverse exchange and you carry a note, now that note comes into us, we can use the note to repay the debt we've got to you. So a seller carry back in a reverse is actually a nice, easy thing for us to deal with. So why is the note there? We just wait till it balloons, complete the acquisition and replacement. 5, partial exchange. Maybe the down payment's enough and maybe they're just planning to pay tax on the balance of it. That's fine, you can do that. But anybody that says you can't do an exchange carrying a seller carryback, totally wrong. There's 5 ways to do it right there, and it's something that we do all the time.